Hi, good afternoon. Okay, so EconoServ is an ESCO. We plan to develop, install, and finance projects, but using the most energy efficient solutions. Could be chillers, could be BMS, could be lighting, and sort of. Okay, as an ESCO, you thrive from savings, no? So the savings will come from both energy costs and maintenance costs. And in a commercial building, 60% is air conditioning. So our target for commercial buildings is air conditioning. Okay, there are two models followed in the world, shared savings model and the guaranteed savings model. Both cases can be applied in the Philippines. In my previous company, we applied both in our clients, both commercial and industrial. Okay, and this is our project. So it's an old hotel in Davao City. It has 169 rooms. It's owned by Waterfront Philippines, and they own a chain of hotels. They have a very old chiller, very poor in condition and efficiency, and they're using a banned refrigerant, R22. And they have been outsourcing solutions already to ESCOs. No? The potential savings will pay the investment costs and the related services of EconoServ. Okay, our solution is to provide a replacement of their chiller plant by using R134 refrigerant and using a combination of technologies. Could be the use of variable speed drives, BMS, or the building management system, high efficiency motors, and including design, installation, commissioning, etc. Okay, so it involves 3 units of 115 TR chiller plant. And the savings, which we are targeting 70%, will be paid to the ESCO for 10 years. Okay. Of course, the 30% goes to the client under the shared revenue agreement. Okay. Currently, we have done the investment grade audit already, and it was partly financed by PFund. So we've submitted the term sheet already, and we're into negotiating the contract. Okay, in terms of project cost, it's about 50 million pesos. The equity needed is 30% or 15 million. And the project IR is about 15% and equity IR of 15.6%. Okay, and the payback is about 6 years. Bank of Philippine Islands is ready to finance the project. And we're just waiting for the equity investor. Okay, this is the structure. We plan to create an investment or holding company wherein all the projects EconoServ has will be parked in this holding company, and we're a minority, like 3%, while the investor will come in like 97%. But we will do all the legwork like business development, project management, and O&M with guarantees for the project to be able to attain its achievement targets. Okay, in the future, currently we're developing a mini DCS or district cooling system for an industrial facility. Some more retrofits for hotel and office building, a district heating for industrial zone, and a district cooling for a university.
I like your business model, and the 3% free carry that is for the principals. How did you come about that 3%? Because that's a very un-Filipino number. Typically, they ask for 40% or.
No, actually, the 3% is services related. I mean, like if we're performing the business development and similar services, we quantified it, and that's our like equity.
So essentially, you're giving the investor the lion's share of
Yes.
the returns.
Yes, yes.
And you're basically living off of your service plus a margin on top of that.
Yes, a small margin.
Is that
actually.
correct?
Yes, correct.
Why don't you have more ambition to take a bigger piece of the pie?
Well, if there's a bandwagon of this kind of projects, then by that time, I'll be in a better position to get a more chunk of the returns. But at this moment, there's more value if for an equity investor. So I have to. I was approached by an equity investor, and they were looking for more share in the company. So I'm not willing to share my stake on EconoServ, but rather creating a new
Right, per project. Yeah.
per project.
And is that 3% something you came up with, or is that what the investor was?
That's what I came up.
Okay, it's very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to- so you're looking at investment for each individual project, not
Yes.
the parent
Yes.
company. How
Individual.
come you're not looking for investment on the parent company level to enable you to take a bigger stake in each project?
Okay. I thought of that idea, but at first, of course, if they get majority, I don't have control of projects that I want to be involved. For example, in Coffee, Thailand, there was a joint venture between a Thailand company and Coffee, and they came at a point wherein Coffee wants more projects while the Thai partner is limiting them, so they decided to buy out. So it's, I think, better approach here than to create a holding company wherein I will park all the projects, and then it's open for all investors coming in. Much easier in documentation purposes also.
I'm kind of new to ESCO, and is there ever any argument on how the savings were calculated? Or?
Okay, good. That's the normal legal issues here. Well, first, there should be a strong investment grade audit agreed by the proponent and the client. After which, when you install the system, you need to have meters installed everywhere.
So this is objective and it's hardwired.
Yes.
There's no debating.
So it's no debate already.
Okay.
Before, they used to reference it to the, let's say, 10% of Meralco bill. And that's contestable because there's a lot of variables there. So in this case, it's quite measured. And we're following the IPMVP or the protocol on measurement and verification as a requirement for ESCO.
I'm just curious, this pipeline you developed, what is the average sales cycle for this? I mean, how long does it take for you to create one of these projects?
Okay.
How much time have you spent convincing each of these customers?
Even now, despite the track record of my previous company, it takes a while for Filipinos to decide on going into this kind of projects. My cycle time is about, from the first contact, it's about at least a year to 2 years to close a contract. Despite the fact that really there's low-hanging fruit. I mean, there's savings. Sometimes the savings, like for example, in this mini DCS, is about 50%.
Typically, the client needs to own the building, or they could be a BPO
we own
tenant?
We own the assets. They buy the chilled water or the compressed air or steam, etc. And the savings will come, the payment will come from the savings as a result. And it's all metered. I mean, if it's compressed air, it's metered. If it's steam, it's hot water, it's chilled water, it's all metered.
And you've only closed one client today?
Today, yes, because we're developing others. We started last June 2015.
What's your limitation to speed up the sales?
Actually, it's the equity part. I've slowed down because I'm afraid to commit. Once they sign or they show their intention, then it's really very fast. I'm very selective in clients now until such time that the equity investors are there, so I can go full blast.